program today, I want to share some words from Andrea L. Zock, who's the president and CEO of the Chicago Urban League. She put out a viewpoint piece upon the passing of marriage equality in Illinois, which I think really embodies the very reason that we're here today. She says that now that we've seen what a united coalition can do, there is an opportunity to work with our lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender allies on other issues that impact communities of color. In a city where more than half of the population is comprised of non-white citizens, there has to be organized community action and engagement that leads to the creation of more opportunities for everyone, regardless of age, race, ability, education, no background, and sexual orientation. The question is, how do we get there? And I think this is part of how we get there. We can use our combined strength to reach out to leaders, both civic and elected, to advance a collective agenda for the underserved and disenfranchised. Andrea goes on to talk about the number of issues that the Chicago Urban League has taken up. They, in 2008, sued the state of Illinois and the Illinois Department of Education for the flawed public school funding system. And in fact, that suit is still in place. And their goal is to build a broader coalition that will advocate for educational funding change. She also goes on to talk about a unified coalition that could work to ratify bullying in our schools and our communities. She goes on to talk about we can't afford to have another child hurt or lost because of mistreatment by peers. Health and wellness is another area where we can unite around. African Americans continue to be disproportionately impacted by heart disease, blood pressure, obesity, and diabetes. And we are most impacted by HIV/AIDS. Intersectional conversations around better access to health care and preventative services are essential to our survival. She goes on to say that the Urban League stands ready to be a convener of these dialogues with our partners in the LGBT community. And again, I think this is the beginning of that conversation. Now that we've shown that a diverse, inclusive coalition can be built to deliver marriage equality in Illinois, we have a tremendous opportunity to strengthen that coalition and leverage it to eliminate the challenges and disparities that prevent the African American community and its LGBTQ members from living empowered and healthy lives. Working together, we can pack a powerful punch for equality and inclusion in Illinois, and I would say beyond. So again, this is the very reason that we're here. And I want to say that for those of us that were part of this convening group today, we're answering Andrea's call to work intersectionally and outline an agenda that is responsive to all of our needs for a just society, where we are supported to thrive and be productive, and where being our authentic selves, that is bringing all of who we are, is seen as an asset and is valued. So again, thank you so very much for coming out. Just a quick note on kind of the schedule of the day. We're going to begin our conversation by using marriage equality as a public policy case study, and we're going to have Kadeen Bennett from ACLU talk about that. We're going to move into a series of sessions in this afternoon. The first session will be public policy, school environment, and health access. We'll take a bit of a break, and then we'll return and talk about public policy, session number 2, which is about criminal justice. And then our third public policy session will be on economics and employment discrimination. And then we're going to do a wrap-up, and I'd like us to do a bit of an exercise as part of that wrap-up. So if you'll note, I know you can't necessarily read my scribble scrabble, but you'll see in the corner right there where Emmanuel is standing. Emmanuel, just point at that sign for me. What I've outlined are the 4 areas that today's sessions are covering. And we have a number of markers right underneath there. And just at your leisure, as you're walking around during breaks, just go up and check off the areas where you're willing to take action. We'll have an evaluation sheet at the end of the forum where we'll ask you to give us your contact information. Are there other areas you'd like to see us include? But I thought this would give us a quick visual if we're on the right track in terms of these being the areas. Because again, this is about being responsive to what the community says the needs and concerns are, not being dictated to by anyone. So again, at your leisure, take an opportunity, just take one of the pens. If there are a couple of areas you're interested in really working on that really resonate for you, just put a check up under there. And that'll give us a visual so that we can, again, continue to be responsive to those needs. All right. Okay.